Hi everyone. Yes, as you can write in the title, I quit my job today. It was my Today was my last day at the work at the company that I've been working for almost 10 months. And in the beginning of March, actually before that, even 2 or 3 months ago, I just have that feeling that this is not the place that I want to be in. This is not the place that I want to serve or work. And day by day I just notice, especially in my body, that some tiredness, some angry, a lot of emotions came out. And in the beginning of March I decided to quit, and I talked with the manager. And it's really interesting because I never dream of being 30s. I used to more focusing on in my 20s, especially when I was a kid, because when I was a kid I always admire people who were in their 20s. They were more my idols actually. And now when I look back, I'm like, you're 31 years old, you quit your job. You have you've been staying with your family, which where I came from, my culture is very common to stay with the family, but also notice that this can be a really red flag for other countries or cultures, especially as someone, an adult who's staying with their parents. So now I'm like, I have nothing to lose actually. It's really interesting because today a lot of my colleagues ask me how I feel. What do you think about it? Do you have any regrets or doubts to the decision that I made? And when I ask myself, I am like, no, I don't have it actually. Because I made a promise to myself. I made a promise myself so that I'm not gonna stay at the place where I'm not happy, where I'm not fully, if the place is not fully yes to me, if the person, the people, the circle, wherever I am, whoever I am with, if it's not fully yes, I made a promise myself that I'm gonna have a courage to move on, leave, even if it's the hard. So basically right now I'm practicing what I promised, because the place that I've been working, it's not a bad place to work. It's not like I mean, it was chaotic. It was too much workload, but the connection that I have with the other people was nice. It wasn't bad or toxic, I would say. But there was something that I didn't feel fulfillment. I didn't feel, yeah, this is what I want. This is really matching with what I want to do in the future. Or now, let's forget about the future now. So I decided to leave on January, and I explained to my decision to my family, and it was end up really disaster for me, because they were like, oh, you can't leave your job because you couldn't find a new one. How are you gonna stay at home? You're not kind of person who would like to stay at home, so it's gonna be a lot of depressed for you. It's gonna be depressed. And I remember that when we had that conversation, my mom told me that you are 31 and you basically have nothing in your life. You have no home to stay for yourself. You're deciding to quitting your job. You can't stay somewhere that you feel struggled. And it hit me a lot. It hit me a lot actually. I still like feel it a little bit. And that day I had a yoga class online, so I was a student there, and I joined it, and I remember the whole class I was crying, and I was talking with myself, with my inner voice, my inner child also, because I was keep telling me, no, you you know earn a scholarship, you awarded a scholarship, and then you went to the Sweden, which was a totally a new country for you, and you ended up there for 2.5 years, staying by yourself, did everything by yourself without getting any help from anyone. and now you have a confidence, you know who you are, you know what can you serve people or yourself, so you're not the person that she shaping and putting in a box. And after a month later, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't care about my family, what their opinions or people opinions, because when I also open up my decision to my close friend circle, they were like, oh, you should find a job and then quick. And it's always, I totally get it, because economically in my country it's not a good time to leave the job. You don't know anything about the future, and there is a really high economic inflation here. But I don't know, I didn't feel like, no, this is not what I want, and I'm really fucking sick about it. Like, I'm sick to stay somewhere that I don't feel very well. I I want to share my gift. I don't know what is exactly, but I have this feeling like, why I have to behind my shadow, or have to be one step away from what I deserved. Why I have to struggle to be seen and heard. So I was like, fuck it, I already did it. I already make the decision with which coming from unknownness. I went to Sweden and I lived there for almost 3 years. And it was my first time being in abroad, even as a tourist. I never been in abroad actually. So I decided to buy a one-way ticket and go to Sweden and study a master program. So I keep telling myself that I can do it again. I can rebuild myself again. But this time I want to be more grounded, more satisfied about what I'm doing, more have a shukran full of gratefulness in my heart, in my body. And of course it's not easy, because when we look at the society, even when I look at myself, when I ask myself how I would like to picture when I turn 30s, which I am right now, I always felt like when I was a kid, I felt like I'm gonna be something, I'm gonna achieve something, which I did somehow. But at the end of the day, what I did, it's not welcoming from the society. Like, I'm 31 years old, I'm a woman, I'm single, I'm staying with my parents' house right now. Basically, I have nothing. But at the same time, I feel like I have nothing to lose right now. I'm in the deep. I am in the floor. I'm on the floor, and that's why maybe I feel hopeful about my future. I feel like, yes, now I can build up. I can build myself up. I can build my life up and up. That's never gonna fail again. And it's really interesting because 2nd of April there's gonna be full moon in Libra, which is my 8th house, also ruled by Libra, and there are a lot of Libra signs in my 8th house. And before, like, this, today's 13th of March, and basically 2 or 3 days later it's gonna happen full moon, and it's affecting my 8th house, which is more about like common sharing, like money's values, something you did with people, a lot of people, and more about like conscious, subconscious is also. Yeah, the 8th house I always describe as what does that bird? I forgot the name, but it's the bird like burning again through ashes. We call it Anka, but I forgot the English word. So for me, it's orb, Russian doll in 8th house. Yeah, basically it's the Russian doll. You have to be courage to take the skin off, take the dolls off, from big to the small. You have a courage to you have an energy to reach out to the small, tiny Russian doll. And when we interpret threat in our life, it means that do you have any courage to be able to look yourself, your tiny, tiny energy, tiny, tiny little of you? Do you have enough action to take all your skin off? That's why 8 hours. 8 hours also symbolize the snake. Do you have a courage to take the skin off yourself? Yeah, I am 31 years old, and basically right now I have no job, no kids, no home, but also have nothing to lose. I don't know, it's so weird because right now, like, I have a full of shukran, full of gratitude that I am able to step out something or somewhere or people, doesn't matter, that doesn't serve me anymore. And now my next step is gonna fill me, it's gonna nourish me, it's gonna help me to reach out what I want, how I live. This is how I feel actually. This is how I have been feeling about this decision. Before that, I really struggled to make it real. Especially the job that I was working, no one asked me to leave. I made the decision. And if I wanted to, let's say that if I want to stay there 10 years, no one's gonna say anything. They will be like really grateful, will be happy and let me to continue to work with them. But this time I decided to follow how my body react, because it's so interesting that whenever I entered that place, I felt like so small, so tired. And whenever I go out, I feel like taking breath out or in freely. I felt like I was getting off all the weight on my shoulder. I don't know how my life is gonna be. I have to be honest, I have no idea. What should I do? But I know that I'm protected. I know that I have something bigger, a bigger role in my life that I don't know yet. Actually, there's no point to share with you, but I just wanted to record this video for myself. I just wanted to share and express what needs to be take out, needs to be say loudly, express myself loudly. Yeah, I made the decision and I have no regret about it. And when I have this thought, it's mostly coming from societal or family expectations. But I always struggle with it. I always have to defend myself against those expectations from people that I don't even know. That's why I want to share this video with you. Maybe somewhere a person who's really struggling what to do. And I just want to say that you're not alone. You're not alone. Somehow, all of us struggling with something. Some of us with health, some of us with parents, relationship, a partner, or animals, or mostly ourselves. Yeah, I'm 31 years old, and today I quit my job and I cut my hair, which is also a big step because I've been using my hair very long, and this time I decided to be a little bit short and have this tiny hairs that my mother didn't like how I look. She didn't say anything but make it clear that she didn't like the way how I look right now. But yeah, that's all I want to say and share with you, especially for myself. If I'm gonna watch this video a year later, I want to tell that version of me that I am so proud of you, that you didn't give up and you know that it's just the beginning. Today's Iram, she knows that that's this is the beginning of everything. I don't know how my love is gonna lead me, leads me to go where I should be, where I should feel, but I know that this is just the beginning.